Okay. I'd like to call this meeting to order, special call city council meeting on this Wednesday, July 22nd at approximately 5:02 p.m. Ms. Derry, would you call the roll, please?
Lance Terry's absent, Rob Powell's absent, Daniel.
Here.
Tim Terry.
Here.
Casey Brown.
Here.
Ralph Meeker's absent, so the mayor will make a quorum.
Thank you. I will turn this over to our city attorney, Mr. Handy.
The purpose of the meeting is that I became aware just a couple of days ago that our prior two ordinances that we had become outdated. There was actually a new statute that has passed dealing with the erection of major repairs, alterations, buildings, or other structures, or for making permanent improvements in excess of $35,000. So I called the municipal league and had them explain that to me, and they said, yeah, this change had occurred, and that this is for things that are of permanent nature. You can't use it like on your sidewalks, stuff like that. But you know, if it's a permanent building or structure, because I got into it and said, well, the sidewalks come permanent.
I was going to say that they need.
Yeah, so anyway, they disagreed with me on that one, but they said for buildings and other structures. So, and as I looked at the older statutes that they had, there was some typographical stuff in there that needed to be cleaned up. But basically, what you got is what was before, with the exception of section 3B, and I included in there that any expenditures or contracts under $35,000 is authorized by statute shall be recorded at the next regular meeting of the city council so that they shall be aware of such expenditures or contracts. And that's the same as what we've got under section A and section 2. Basically, that way, if there's an expenditure made under that, and then all of a sudden you have a constituent calls and says, what in the heck? Then you don't have to scratch your head and say, I don't know what you're talking about. So, I don't think that has been a problem in the recent time period.
So still, the 20,000 goes with purchases or contracts, like buying a new pump or getting some water lines put in, all that stuff.
Exactly.
If it's over 20,000, it's still gonna be bid.
And I have no idea why they were all the same and they changed this one, and to me it would make more sense to change all three, but for whatever reason they did.
I think they were attempting to raise them all to 35 or even higher at one point.
I don't know what, I didn't even know they had actually increased it until somebody pointed it
No,
out.
I didn't either on this one. At one time they were reaching for 50,000, and I think they probably didn't get any.
Probably compromised at 35,
Yeah.
but they probably forgot about this other one that was there. We're still at 20.
So I'll make a motion that we repeal and replace ordinance 1313 and ordinance 0808 with this new ordinance by title only.
Putting whatever ordinance this is on for first reading by title only.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second.
Mr. McDaniel.
I want to ask more questions.
Okay.
Do we want to vote first or not?
No, ask
No.
questions.
I just, I'm just trying to get my head around this. I mean, I haven't had time to absorb all this, I guess, but 3B, right?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. I've lost where it was. Where it says, exceptional situation exists that makes bidding procedure not feasible or practical.
That is the same language that we have in the 20,000. That's where you waive competitive bidding, for example.
I thought we had something well, I'm probably thinking about, I guess the same deal about the bids, bid
About the local vendors.
lowest practical bidder, local vendors.
Come out waiving bidding?
You local vendor.
I mean, I guess it's hard to define what's a, you know, where it's not practical or feasible.
That's what we do when we write it.
It's kind of,
I mean, sometimes you'll have like and we've done this in the past, you have some special piece of equipment that only one company can make here locally, or else it's gonna take us 3 months to get another one, and so we need it now, and so that's what we.
but you don't think that's a deal where somebody in the future is gonna say, I declare this to be not feasible, therefore.
Not while I'm here, I don't think so, because they've taken a strong stance on.
I mean, that'd be
So
a real.
I want to recommend not doing that
So-
unless it's a true emergency, so.
Oh. Tell me if I'm reading all this right, because you know, in section 2, you're talking about where the council, or unless the council has approved it in a line item budget, right?
That's the $5,000.
Yeah, the
mayor
2B.
expenditure.
So then section 3, it doesn't really talk about that. Does this create a place where you could say, I can go spend $35,000 that's not in the budget as long as I report it at the next meeting?
The mayor,
No.
I mean, I don't,
Section 2 just for the mayor, we've combined the mayor and this competitive bidding.
Well, the section 3 part,
Right.
I mean, I don't know, that's,
No, it's just talking about the $35,000 being a structure, that kind of thing.
I mean, this is just really
I'm
about,
taking the
about
language,
his.
I'm taking the language straight out of the Arkansas statute, and I'm putting it in there.
yeah,
It's just about waiving competitive bidding for, if it's a structure or a permanent building, they moves it up to 35 instead of 20. Used to, if it was something over 20, we had to bid it.
I'm probably confusing myself between bidding and authorization for expenditures.
Right.
yeah, that's.
Right.
This has nothing to do with authorizing an expenditure, this is all about bidding.
Well, it combines it into one ordinance.
It's combined in one ordinance, but the 35,000, the mayor just can't say, well.
Yeah, Doug can't just go decide to spend $34,900 on a building that's not in the budget.
It's not in the budget, right.
Okay. Yes?
Jim Terry,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Islam,
Yes.
unanimous. An ordinance repealing ordinance numbers 08-08 and 13-13 establishing bidding procedures, authorizing the mayor to make purchases and enter into contracts on behalf of the city for all purchases, defining professional services, waiving competitive bidding for professional services, and authorizing the waiving of competitive bidding on the purchases or contracts when not feasible or practicable, or as may be otherwise authorized for state law, by state law, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
I was wondering, though, I remember in the past, we were discussing like that $5,000 limit, and just, you know, in certain situations, I mean, you know, especially like the thing in the water, if you had a line break, you know, during the weekend or something like that, and, you know, is 5,000 a realistic, you know, that he can get stuff done if the mayor needs to do something over there?
Mayor's is 20 for that water line break. Mayor's is just at 5,000. But if something needs to be done like a water line break, they can go up to 20, which is what 3A basically states.
Right. If it's in the budget, if it's
You
in
could
the-
probably go to 35 if it's a line break, because that's a permanent.
Well, that's what the, you know, that's what the statute is, I can't tell you what a permanent thing is, that's what the municipal league
That could be a
says.
Depends on if it's a temporary fix or a permanent fix to the line, I suppose.
Well, if there's an emergency like that, you're not gonna let water spew and not fix it.
Yeah,
And we're billed for that stuff later and then.
It says erecting a building, other structures, or making other permanent improvements. I would say fixing a water line would be a permanent improvement.
Yeah, or adding the water line.
I've always gone to 5,000 just as a
That's something that's not in the budget.
daily if something,
Well, an improvement,
which I never really thought about the water line either.
like a check valve at the water plant like we're doing right now.
Right? They're not $35,000, are they?
No, well, if you bid it out, it would be more.
That's really in place so like the mayor can't just go buy a vehicle and then tell you all about it next month.
$10,000 for the hand sanitizer.
Right.
No.
Do you want me to,
That could be right now, yeah.
Yeah.
do I need to make a motion to suspend the rules and waive second and third reading?
Yeah.
I'll do that then.
Have a motion to suspend the rules and waive second, third reading.
Second.
And second.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Tim Terry?
Yes,
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Moss?
Yes.
Unanimous.
I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adopt the ordinance.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Tim Terry?
Yes,
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsler?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Make the motion that we enact the emergency clause.
second.
Have a motion and a second to enact the emergency clause.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Tim Terry?
Yes,
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsler?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Can you read it again?
now don't ever use this ordinance.
Sorry. New phone, forgot to turn it down.
Now, if you don't mind, don't ever use this ordinance.
What?
Now, don't ever use
Don't
this
ever
ordinance.
use this. All right, that's all you have, Mr. Randy?
That's all I have.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second, motion and second to adjourn. Thank you.
Woo-hoo!
You start ending all meetings with.
I don't know about those state boys.
About what?
I don't know about those state boys.
State?
State legislature,
Oh, yes,
just weird
yeah.
splitting
That
up.
legislative session would be very interesting, huh?
Obviously, we've got some sort of lobby that wanted to build us something that's, you know,